So this is a conversation that I've had today with a group of clients in one of our jam sessions. And it's also something that Marie and I spoke about together about 2 weeks ago. And that is, how do I word it? Um, when a new client is doing their research and wanting to book in for their first service with you, what is their experience like going from Google to your website to your booking page, and then how clear is it what they should be booking in for, what they shouldn't be booking in for? Is it streamlined? Is it a mess? Are you talking in mumbo jumbo that means nothing to a client? Have you got 57,000 services and they get confused and go, I'm not booking in? What is the experience like for a new client booking in with your clinic? Because when I did a post, when was it? Not last week, the week before, and said, I'm looking for 5 people. I'm going to give you feedback on what it's like for a new client to book in for your salon. One out of the 5 was brilliant, and the rest was, I wouldn't book in. Okay.
Hmm.
So it's a mess, and I think we need to address it.
Well, this is a really big conversation, Jay. I feel like I need this for at like 2 hours. And you said, let's do a quicker
Well, I
podcast.
said, let's do a 10-minute podcast episode just on a quick, short, sharp topic, but it is a can of worms. But let's stick to our, what is it?
Oh,
Let's see if we can get 12 minutes.
all
12
right.
minute
So
episode.
I think the biggest thing is to start and do an audit. And
Yep,
that audit needs to start. If there's a starting point, there's an audit. And the audit needs to start from every avenue from your website,
yep,
your social platforms, looking at your bio. So does it align? I think we need to look at if you have a price list, an old style price list, it needs to be everywhere you can see information about your business needs to be audited. Like every single area. There's probably more.
look,
Google.
absolutely. And I was only going through this today with some clients, and we decided to pull up some clients' websites and do it together and give each other feedback. And I haven't asked permission to do this publicly, so I'm not going to do it. But I've got to have one of our clients' websites here. And as soon as you open up the website, book now. It's up there, top right hand corner. You don't have to look for it. There was another website where you had to scroll down halfway through the page, and there was 3 buttons, and one of them was book online. Again, too many barriers. I can't be bothered scrolling.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
to we've got to put ourselves in the consumer's shoes and do the audit and be really, really ruthless and fussy. So I'm clicking the book now button. It takes me to what looks like Timely, and right up the top, the very first category is called new clients. So I know as a new client, oh, I'm going to click on that. And then there's 2 options, consult or consult and your first treatment. And then there's a description. And the description looks like one, two, three, four, 5 mini paragraphs of information about the experience, their approach, the consultation, what you're going to
Oh,
walk away with, what the treatment's going to be like. Book me in, sign me up, ready to go. So that's what it should be,
mm.
and there was a hairdressing salon example. I'd tell you what, those cheap restaurants, that's so nasty. Those cheap restaurants you go to, and the menu's a fucking book. It's like 57
Oh,
pages. They do
huh.
American burgers and ribs. They do Thai. They do Indonesian. They do bloody, what else? Italian
Everything.
pastas and parmas and
Mm.
like,
Greek.
they do spanakopita.
Everything.
Yeah, and none of it's good. So
No.
we know that when your menu's big, none of it's good, and you just think, I get overwhelmed. You want to throw the menu in the bin. Um, but this one hair salon had 57,000 different services, and all of it was in hairdresser speak.
Yeah, it's not good.
T-zone. What's a T-zone? I don't know what a T-zone is. Isn't a T-zone here where you get oily? So you really, and even to the point where there was one service, L slash TH, L slash TH, long slash thick, one of the clients said. I said, oh yeah, that makes sense. Long hair slash thick hair. But would a consumer know that?
No,
I
not at
would.
all.
You think, oh yeah, okay, long slash thick, that makes sense. Yeah. So anyway, I should have recorded this by myself because you barely get a bloody word in. But
Yeah,
back to what you were saying, you need to do an audit of all of these touch points.
yeah.
Put yourself in their shoes, don't you?
Yeah, I definitely think that's step one, like auditing everything that you look at or the consumer looks at is the way it changes the client journey. Because if they look at it on one platform and you haven't updated that, they see something different when they walk in your business. So, yeah, you just don't know. I think there's a saying, isn't there? People are watching you well before you're watching them. And I believe that that is so true more and more now than ever before with social presence.
Mm. There was
Yeah.
a client that had a client-friendly version of their client journey on their website. Absolutely brilliant. So they spoke about the first time visit, their approach to recommending retail, the fact that they will never make the client feel guilty for going to another salon, or they even said, we'd never make you feel bad for using box dye on your hair, or so you could read it and get a sense of what's the experience going to be like, what's the dynamic of their team. But I also, the one thing that I really liked was that if you're going to back yourself to the point where you say, this is what your first experience is going to be like here in our salon,
Yep.
and you publicly state that, you better follow through. So it keeps you and the team are really accountable to this is what we're publicly saying our first visit's like. It has to be like this.
Yes.
Very
Yep.
clever, isn't it?
Definitely. And I think when you start to look at, you may have had a business for a long time or you may be new, there's these parts get missed and it definitely needs a review.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So there was a client that we started to work with recently, and one of the things that we found with their website and uh, their different options on their online booking was some of the wording, apart from it being way too complex for the consumer to understand, um, it was almost like, here's the service, but you can't book in for that unless you have a consult.
Yeah.
Here's the service, but you must be prepped before you have this service done. First time visit has to be a consult. You're not allowed to have a treatment unless we've consulted you. Now, I believe that's the right way to do it, but the consumer goes, this is too hard.
They do. They do. And I think not only do they think it's too hard, if you don't make it simple for somebody, when they go, they're just gone. They're gone to the point where they go, I don't even want to go there. They go and find something else. So simplicity is definitely a thing.
Yeah, I think we've said that a lot lately. Simplicity scale, simple is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I think if there's words that you're using, and this is probably more into the nitty gritty,
Ooh,
the example that we just used of new clients start here, and then when you click on that, you get your three different, haircuts or colors or facials or packages or whatever. You've got the opportunity to name the service and then write a description. Some people don't have anything written in the description, and it's such a missed opportunity.
yeah.
Is it
Such,
like, hmm, because ultimately it's your opportunity. It's almost like a one paragraph sales pitch, isn't it?
yep.
Yeah. Marie, do you ever find when you're looking at particularly a big menu for a skin clinic, when you read the descriptions of the service, one, it being too clinical and clients don't understand a lot of the words, but do you ever read the descriptions and go, even as an expert, I'm overwhelmed. They all sound good. I don't know which one would be best for me.
Well,
Or
yes, because
or they all sound the same.
yeah, I just clicked onto one, and that as a therapist, as a trained therapist, one of the things that I say from, having a salon and not having the machinery, because it wasn't in when I sold my salon, and the machinery and the levels of treatments now, I'm confused as a consumer 100%. And I think when someone says, oh, you should have the such and such package or the such and such treatment, I think I don't even know what that means. Like they don't even talk the consumer language. So I think it even comes from, not just talking it, sitting down with the client and working out if you're in the clinic or in the salon. And I think the other part of it is changing the wording so it simplifies what it means. Like this will do this when you have 4 treatments, or what this will do is make your skin feel clearer, brighter. Like we've lost that basic simple again, simpleness to a menu where if I don't know, how does the consumer know? And I'm in the industry. I say it all the time.
You know, one thing since talking about this a lot in the last few weeks that, and again, it's only an opinion,
Yeah.
that I understand having a bespoke facial or a customized treatment. However, it doesn't speak directly to the client's needs. So when I say, Marie, I can
Yeah.
offer you a bespoke treatment that's tailored purely for your needs and it's 149 compared to we have our clinical peel,
Mhm.
our clinical pigmentation peel. Then would that be relevant to you? And you go, oh, well, no, I don't have pigmentation.
Yeah, or I
Or,
don't, maybe it hasn't been identified, or I don't really know I don't
yeah.
have it. Like you don't know.
Or it could be firm, tight lift. And you think,
Yeah.
oh, yes, that's me. That's what I want. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I need. But pigmentation, I don't even really know what that means. Or I don't need that. So, it's all well and good to say that we do laser genesis and hydrofacial and clinical peels, but we need to sometimes think about instead of just making it generalized, the name of the treatment, like
Yes.
salicylic acid or, you know, dermafrac or whatever it is, what
Yeah.
about the actual issue, the challenge that the client has? Name it that.
Hmm.
You know,
Yep.
like we do it really well for teen skin, clean and clear and bright and teen facial. You think I'm a teen, that will be for me.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
it's so true, isn't it? And I think it is, if you use the right words that get to the level of the client, not the therapist, there's a difference in what clients would take on. It's like I would love someone to explain in a basic format what needling does. Because how many salons do we see that they say they do needling, but the amount of services they do versus the amount of clients they see is minimal. And the reason for that is maybe it's, you think it's cost, or maybe it's clients don't actually know what it means, or what will it do? Like putting needles all over my face. So it sounds scarier than what it is. And I think we need to soften the blow of that it's not that bad.
that could be addressed in the descriptions on your website and your booking link.
Yes, for sure.
So I'm on a client's booking link here, and they've got three different levels of peel.
Okay.
Level one, level two, level three. And it's called entry level. So there's a clinical entry peel, clinical performance peel, and clinical advanced peel. Okay, and different price points and different time commitments. But the very first one addresses that it's a good Kickstarter. The treatment targets a variety of skin concerns, including dullness and mild congestion. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's using more small words, whereas when we go up to clinical advanced peel, which is nearly double the price, intensive, restorative, replenish, long term skin health,
Yeah.
revitalize, visibly smoother. For those looking for a transformative results. So again, it needs to be really abundantly clear that if I've got three options of peels, am I one, two, or three?
Yes.
What am I getting myself into? So think, slow down, put your client glasses on and really be ruthless with all of the wording, and even get a friend that isn't a client or isn't a therapist or a hairdresser and say, be ruthless with this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's even like extensions. It's the you're wanting fuller, richer hair. Like put the words that the result that someone's wanting rather than just all the technical words in between.
And you know what? It's a good example because the thing is, extensions, it's all the same thing. Whereas you could
Yeah.
have on your website our uh, thick hair package. This is a really bad example, but it's for someone that doesn't want to add length, they just want to add thickness and volume to their hair. That's package
Mm.
number one. Package number two is luscious locks, luscious long locks, and it's for someone that wants to add thickness, volume, but mainly length. Again, you're
Yeah,
talking to
definitely.
the very specific needs of the client rather than just saying hair extensions for everyone.
Yeah, and even things like, and as much as it's nice to know if it was a hair extension salon, that you do genius wefts, invisible tapes, nano bead, whatever they do, and you can write a description, but is that right for the client? So it's more about being specific when you come in, but also saying that like it's more about the results that you can get. You can get fuller sides of the hair, you can have full length. You don't need to have extensions down to your bottom to actually have extensions. So I think the clarity on what you give the client, again, simplicity. If it's simple, they feel better
There's
and they want to.
like nano bead, Invisi tape, whatever weft thing that you spoke about before. Um, that goes over your head. What's that
Oh,
even mean? Yeah, so
completely.
I think by all means mention it, but you have to address the needs, the wants, the desires, the pain point of the client
Yeah.
in the description, or else they'll go, well, that doesn't sound like me.
No, no.
Hmm.
Good conversation. Have we done 12 minutes or are we over?
Well, it was five past. I think we've done 17. Let's call it quits.
I think it was a really good conversation and a good point. It's you could be starting from scratch, you could be in business many, many years, but you need to have a look at across all your platforms. What's it looking like?
And just to even have a look at other salons and clinics in your area and pretend you're a new client and go, would I book in? Like, is it really clear? Because again, one of the things that I look at is if I'm going to book in with Sarah, I want to see if I can see a picture of Sarah on Instagram, Facebook, or on their website so I know who I'm going to be booking in with. You know,
100%.
not
Yep.
because I'm going to go, oh, she doesn't look nice or oh, she's not my cup of tea or whatever. I just like to
Yep.
place the person that I'm going to spend my money with.
That's right. Yep. Good conversation.
Well, have a good evening, Marie. Merry Christmas, happy
You
birthday.
You too, Jay. Thank you. Great conversation.
Like, subscribe, all the rest.